Welcome into the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Miami absolutely drubs the Chicago Bulls in the Friday night play-in game, which means Miami is going to match up with the Boston Celtics in the first round of the postseason. It is not an ugly, or not a pretty spread if you're going to look at the first game that is on Sunday, 4:21, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Celtics are favored by 13 points, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. But either way, we are getting Heat Celtics in the playoffs for the fourth time in 5 years. The other 3 times were in the Eastern Conference Finals, this one coming in the first round. Ironically enough, fun tidbit, the one time in those 5-year spans that the Heat and Celtics haven't played in the postseason, both teams got swept in the first round. That came in the 2020-21 NBA season. But Heat, they ended up defeating the Bulls, and now they have to travel to play the Celtics in round 1 of the playoffs as the 8th seed for the second straight year. By the way, we are going to be live for every playoff game against the Boston Celtics, whether it be 4, 5, 6, or 7 games. If we get the upset, we'll be live for the rest of the postseason as well. We crossed 10,000 subscribers on our Friday night stream against the Bulls. It was an absolute electric factory. If you haven't seen our live shows in the past, you are missing out. In the intensity is only going to elevate in the postseason against our most hated team. So join the channel. The goal is to get to 11K subscribers during this playoff series. All right, I have keys to victory, and we'll kind of mention injury stuff as well throughout the video, and then I'll have my official prediction at the end. But the first key to victory, if you're the Miami Heat, number 1, Bam has to be a top 2 player in this series. That is just simply the only way I can fathom the Heat defeating the Boston Celtics, as they have a very good top 6 lineup with Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis, Al Horford, Payne Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Like, they are really, really good, and they are a really deep team, which is why they had the number 1 record in the NBA in the regular season. But if you want to win, you need your best player, Bam Adebayo, who still was a little bit quiet offensively against the Bulls. I expected him to have the higher output. He needs to be a top 2 player in the series. I am fine if one of Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown is the best player in the series. I'm fine with that because those 2 guys have the potential and ability to be a top 10 player in the league, with Tatum being a top 10 player in the league at any given moment. But if you want to win, Bam has to be the second best player on the floor at all times. He's going to be the best defender on the floor at all times because he's just simply the best player in the NBA at defense, and you saw it fully on display against the Bulls on Friday, disrupting DeMar DeRozan as a center. How about that? And just switching and just dominating that game at all facets on the defensive side. But he has to give you 24 plus a night, if you're asking me. I get Hero's probably going to be the guy who takes the most shots. He's going to be guarded by a Derek White, a Jrue Holiday, who's their best perimeter defender. Maybe even Jaylen Brown gets the assignment as well, as he's improved his defense this season too. But if you want to win, your center, your cornerstone player, your franchise guy for the next 8 to 10 years, he has to be the second best player on the floor. And if he's the best player on the floor, well, maybe then you can actually win the series, as you are massive underdogs. Number 2, you have to light them up from 3. This is non-negotiable, by the way. You have to be the best three-point shooting team in this series. I don't have the numbers offhand right now, but I believe Boston's been a top 5, top 10 three-point shooting team all year long in the regular season. You have to beat them from beyond the arc. You have the capabilities to do so with Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, who finally returned to action on Friday against the Bulls, Caleb Martin, who dominated the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic. Like, you have the guys that can outshoot them from 3. And the main thing to me is I'm not banking on Terry Rozier being fully healthy for this entire playoff series, as he did miss Friday's game against the Bulls. He will be questionable for the game against the Celtics on Sunday. Hopefully he will be able to go, because you need all the offense you can get against a Celtics team who has been a top 5 offensive or defensive team as well as offense in the league. You're going to have to score 110 points in these games if you want to compete with Boston on a night-to-night basis. So Rozier's health is going to be key, and he's also going to be someone that can help Miami light them up from 3. You're going to need big series from Duncan and Hero from beyond the arc. They're going to need to hit 4 or 5 threes each, if you're asking me, every game in order for Miami to stay and hang around. You don't have Gabe Vincent. You don't have Max Strus this year. Who's going to be the guy to knock down multiple threes on a nightly basis against a Celtics team who is really, really good defensively? Coming up, 2 more keys to victory, plus my official prediction in the first round. But we do have to show some love to our sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. As the Heat are officially in the postseason, you want to make these games even more fun and more enjoyable. The best way to do that is joining 3 million users on a daily basis with Prize Picks. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stat projections. It's that easy. Just 2 clicks of a button, and you can win up to 100 times your money in the postseason with as little as 4 entries spanning over basketball, NHL. Those playoffs are beginning as well. MLB, League of Legends, they have it all. Friday night, it was Flex Play Friday, which is another reason why I love Prize Picks, right? Because they have daily specials for returning users and new users. Flex Friday has you protected on any flex play up to $20. I went 3 of 5, so I actually made money because you are allowed to go 3 of 5 in a flex play to get money back. The only ones I missed, Bam Adebayo more than 21.5, and Hero more than 10 threes. Heartbreaking, by the way, because he had 9 3 attempts. Jovic hit a 3, Highsmith had 7, and Kobe White stayed less than on 20.5 points, so I was able to still get some money back. But join me, Meek Mill, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and millions of others playing Prize Picks on a daily basis. Go download the app today in your local app store and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Or you can just go into the description and comments of today's video. Click on that link, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS to get that first deposit match up to $100. Number 3, I said this in our preview for the game against the Bulls, but Haywood Highsmith is going to have to be a big-time factor in this series, specifically on the defensive end of the floor. Jason Tatum is a top 5, top 7 player in this league. He is very gifted offensively, but you can rattle Jason Tatum. There are ways and there are moments where Tatum goes through really tough stretches. Just remember that series last year in the second round against the Philadelphia 76ers. He was abysmal leading up to that in that whole series, really. And then all of a sudden, Game 6, he flipped the switch and went off and then had a 50-point game in Game 7. But if you were able to get Highsmith on him, who is 6'5", yes, he's undersized, but he has a 7-foot wingspan. He's physical. He's got the foot speed and lateral quickness to stay with Tatum. Not going to say he's going to hold him to 20 points every game, but if you can make life difficult for Tatum, make him pass it out, and as crazy as to say, make Porzingis, make Derek White, make Jrue Holiday be the ones that beat you. Don't let the 2 stars for Boston and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum beat you. The best way to limit Tatum, to me, is Haywood Highsmith. And with Jimmy Butler out, I'm going to be very fascinated to see what Erik Spoelstra does with a starting lineup perspective. In the game against the Bulls on Friday, it made all the sense in the world to me to go with Triple J, the rookie from UCLA, and he paid it off for Spo. But in this series, I got to be honest, I think it would be more smart if Rozier wasn't available. We'll see. We'll have an update likely on Saturday afternoon with Rozier's health. To start Highsmith alongside Caleb, Hero, Jovic, and Bam. And the reason why this is also very fascinating for me is because with Jovic, we've never had Jovic against the Celtics really in this season. We're 0-3 against Boston, by the way. Jovic, not saying he's going to hold Porzingis, but Porzingis doesn't post up that often. And he's not someone that's going to beat you with his physicality. So actually putting Jovic on Kristaps and letting Bam roam on Tatum and Brown, switching with Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin, could be the best way to limit the offense for the Boston Celtics. Number 4, no Derek White heroics. We saw heroics last year in Game 6. I thought the Heat closed out that series. They were up 1 with 5 seconds to go. Marcus Smart missed a 3. White with a putback at time expiring. And it forced a Game 7, which evidently Miami won. Always nice to bring that up. But Derek White, he is arguably their 4th, 5th guy. You can say him or Jrue Holiday is the better player. I don't really know. But Derek White is a folk hero and arguably maybe the biggest fan favorite on that team. Like, Smitty, let's be honest here. Him or Jason Tatum probably are 2 favorite guys in Boston. Like, Derek White gets more love than Jaylen Brown. So, especially when you're on the road in Boston, you cannot let Derek White get on a 14-0 personal run by hitting triples or getting putback slams or anything like that. It's hard to say as a key to victory to not let Derek White have spark moments, but it really is a key to victory. My official prediction. I got the guts, folks. Heat in 6. And I'm not just saying this. I really do have the feeling that Miami can do something miraculous. You can call me delusional all you want, but we have been the boogeyman to the Boston Celtics. And now the official boogeyman, a.k.a. Jimmy Butler, is not playing in this series. In all likelihood, maybe there's a 1% chance he returns in Game 7 if it went Game 7. But he's going to be out 2.5, 3 weeks at bare minimum, which probably covers this entire series. Maybe if the Heat got the upset, he'd be able to return in the second round against the winner of Magic or Cavs, which, by the way, I think we'd beat them even without Jimmy because they stink. But I'm going Heat in 6. I got the guts. Rozier will be back at some point in the series. Don't know if it's going to be Game 1, but he will play at some point. Hero and Bam look fantastic on Friday. Jaquez is coming along. Jovic, Martin. These guys are battle-tested. They have the experience. I think Miami's going to shock the world, man, and we're going to see it happen time and time again. And until Boston can consistently put us down in the regular or in the postseason, I'm always going to believe Miami is going to beat the Boston Celtics. That will do it for today's live video. Make sure you do join us live on Sunday, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern Time for that game. We'll be live 30 minutes before tip-off, so subscribe to the channel, and we'll probably have a video leading up to that game if there's an update with Terry Rozier's injury or any other injury news. If not, this is the final video until the playoffs begin against the Celtics. So let's go Heat. I'll see you on Sunday. Heat in 6.